What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and here we have the Google Pixel for an unboxing and first look. One of the first on YouTube, so a thumbs up for that would be appreciated. So this is the smaller brother, the 5-inch version. There is also a 5.5-inch version, which is the Pixel XL, and we'll be looking at that in another video, so make sure you have subscribed to see that first. Now for those of you interested in seeing the box, here's the front, the back, left hand side, right hand side, top and bottom. Now let's get straight to the unboxing. We are first up presented with the Google Pixel. We'll take that and put it to the side for just a second to see what else we get inside the box. There's firstly this pack with all of your paperwork. This includes your SIM card ejector tool, a quick start guide. There's a leaflet here to introduce you to Google Assistant, which is a key feature on here, as well as one around Google Play Music, which you get 3 months free of. A little thank you card encouraging you to share using the hashtag #MyPhoneByGoogle. And finally, some warranty information. As well as that, you have your power brick, and now this is a 3-pin power brick. You may have a different one where you're from. This has a USB Type-C input similar to what we saw last year with the Nexus 5X and 6P. Along with that, you have a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, which has this little clip that's going to make it easier for you to wrap up this cable. There's a USB Type-C to USB Type-A connector as well. This is USB 3, by the way. You can tell that by the blue. And finally, there's a USB to USB Type-C adapter. Now let's get straight to the device. You've got this protector with some more Google Assistant info. And we do have this metal build, which does feel pretty premium. And let me know what you think of the design of the Pixel. Remember, you can customize the look of your Pixel with a skin from our sponsor, dbrand. I'll be leaving a link to them in the description below if you want to go ahead and check them out. Taking a closer look, up front is a 5-inch Full HD AMOLED display. On the top is an earpiece, some sensors, and a front-facing 8-megapixel camera. This has an f2.4 aperture, but the pixels are pretty large. On the bottom side of the front, we don't actually have anything. Flipping the device around, on the top side of the back, we have this glass panel, which includes a 12.3 megapixel camera that has an f2.0 aperture, but once again, some very large pixels. And this is supposed to be, Google claim, one of the best cameras out there. We will of course be putting that to the test with a Super Saf style camera comparison, so do look out for that. Now, just a side note, the cameras are exactly the same as the Pixel XL. We have a dual LED flash, looks like a secondary microphone, as well as some sensors. There's also a fingerprint scanner here in the back, which you can use to unlock your device, but swiping down will also bring down your notifications. On the bottom side of the back is the Google G logo, as well as some info. Up top is a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the bottom is a USB Type-C input. A single bottom facing speaker. Now don't be fooled, there are 2 grills here, but only the right hand side is a speaker. The left hand side is for the mic. On the right hand side of the phone, we have a power button as well as a volume rocker. Now the power button is above the volume rocker, which is an odd choice in my opinion. Usually it is the power button that you need to reach to easier, and most of the smartphones do have this closer. So I'll let you know how I get on with this going forward. And finally, on the left hand side is your SIM card tray. Now let's go ahead and give this a first boot. I know a lot of you are interested to see this, so we'll speed this up slightly. And then we get this new animation, which does go on for quite some time, almost a minute. So speeding right through that, finally we get the Google icon and some more animations going into the main screen. We have your language selection here, so you can select whichever language you want. And you also have some vision settings. Let's get started straight away. We'll skip the insert SIM card and we'll set this up as a brand new device and then connect onto Wi-Fi. Once it's done that, then it looks for updates and then lets you sign in to your Google account. And then you can set up your fingerprint, which we'll do a bit later. Backing up to Google Drive, which will switch off. Google Services. You're basically signing away all your life here. Then we get to Google Assistant, which we can set up to recognize your voice. So you have to say, "Okay, Google," 3 times. And once we've done that, we are finally on the home screen, and here you can see that it's doing a few updates, and we do have Android 7.1 Nougat. Going on to this, tapping it a few times, holding on, doesn't bring you a game. It either brings you a little cat at the bottom or a no entry sign. So not sure if there's another way to unlock a graphic or animation or something. Let me know if you have figured out a way. So there we have it, the Google Pixel. A very interesting device, and I'm going to be having lots more coverage here on the channel. Super SAF style camera comparisons, speed tests, as well as a day in London with the Pixel XL and EE. If you want to see all of those first, then be sure to subscribe, click on my face right here, and also switch on notifications. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, what is up guys? MKBHD here, and this is it. This is the Google Pixel XL. In the flesh, we finally have it here. By the time you watch this video, I will have been using this phone for about half a week or so about 4 days. So that's not quite enough time for me to give my full review of this phone, but it is enough time for me to get to know this phone a lot better and learn a bunch of new things about it. And a lot of these things have to do with Android and the software it's running. So this is the first phone running Android 7.1 out of the box, so not even 7.0. So usually a 0.1 update is a pretty sizable update, but a lot of these things you're going to notice are still little tweak updates from Android 7.0. Even so, nevertheless, these are 5 of my favorite observations from my couple of days so far using the Pixel. So number 1 is the new navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. Design is a little bit different. You can see the buttons are filled in now, and it's grown on me a little bit. The other thing is not all phones have software buttons, so that's something you have to get used to. I've switched phones a lot between on-screen and off-screen buttons, so I came from the OnePlus 3. So the big old shit on this phone, I found myself like tapping in that empty space to go back or go multitask. That doesn't do anything. There's nothing down there. It's just the software buttons. But yeah, like I said, I've gotten used to the new look, and I'm actually using the assistant a bit more than I use now on tap. You can see there's this little animation now for pressing home, and of course the long press home will get you to the new assistant. So number 2, let's talk about that, the assistant. So on Pixel phones, it's baked into the OS. So like you saw, a long press of home will open it. And as far as I know, this is only on Pixel phones. So on other Android phones, you can get to the assistant with the Allo app or something like that. But the way it works here is pretty clean and familiar. You have the long press and it starts listening. And you can also say, OK Google from anywhere on any screen, or even when the phone is off, to get it to start listening to you and take a command or a question. If there's stuff on my screen, I can hold home and then actually swipe up to get potentially useful information based on what it's reading on my screen, so that's still useful from now on tap. So number 3 is the completely finished Pixel launcher. So a bunch of you might have been like me and were using the APK of the Pixel launcher before on some other phones, but now this is the final version, and there's also actually still some new things. For those who weren't using it, number 1 thing you'll notice is the circular icons. Yes, there are circles everywhere. It's not entirely consistent. Like, you still have the Allo icon is not a circle, for example. The Dropbox icon is not a circle. But the one thing you can say is that they're now all the same size. So you couldn't say that before. But that minor adjustment actually makes a big difference to feeling clean. And this launcher, you now swipe up to get into your app drawer instead of pressing a button. I actually have grown to really like that. So it gives you a way bigger touch target to swipe up from instead of having to hit a button in the middle of the phone. It's actually easier for your reach. And then you can just swipe anywhere from the dock area, so that gives me an extra slot in my dock for another favorite app. Also, at the top of the launcher is a clickable weather forecast now that actually goes to your weather. And in the launcher settings, you actually also now have something called app suggestions, which I turned off, but it'll literally show you in your app drawer an app that you don't have installed just because it thinks you might want to have it. So I probably would turn that off. All right, so number 4 might look familiar to people who have used a certain other smartphone recently, and that is the ability to long press any icons on your home screen or in your app drawer to get functions inside of your apps. So the Twitter app, for example, you could long press the icon and it will give you a shortcut to go right to your DMs or right to composing a new tweet. This reminds you of 3D Touch on the iPhone. So while Apple sort of developed this really technically impressive proprietary display technology for sensing pressure, Google just built it into a long press. So yeah, a lot of Google first-party apps now have this functionality freshly baked in because they were expecting it. But yeah, more and more third-party apps will soon start to have this as well. So I'm ready for that. I'm assuming the rollout will look a lot like the way it did with 3D Touch on iOS. Not sure how much I'll use it because again, I mean, if you're an iPhone user, honestly, how much do you use 3D Touch? Some more than others. Maybe you do more than me, but it's a cool feature. I just think it's cool that they figured that out and they built it right into the phone. And then there's number 5, last but not least, something pretty small called gestures or moves. So if you go into the settings, you'll see a section just called moves, and it's for some new gestures. 3 main new things. One is you can switch between the front and back cameras in the camera app with a double twist. So it's kind of similar to what you did in the Motorola camera app back in the day to open the camera. Number 2 is to double tap the power button to open the camera. This isn't new, we've seen this before in other Nexuses, but again, it allows you to not have a camera shortcut on your phone. You can just double tap the power button. And the third and final thing is you can use the fingerprint reader on the back to swipe up and down to pull down the notification tray from anywhere and also pull it back up. So that's pretty cool. I turned that on. I definitely do have some accidental swipes when I'm just holding the phone and handling the phone, but for the most part, if I made an effort to think about it, it actually works as a shortcut to just swipe down and check the time and then swipe back up. And if I have a notification, I'll see it pretty quickly. So there you have it. It's a bunch of small refinement type stuff on Android 7.1 on this Pixel phone. Obviously, the full review is coming soon, so what I want you to do is let me know in the comment section right below that like button what you want to see in the full review. Obviously, the camera, that's a major one that I want to test. It's so far looking really promising, and I have good initial impressions, but that's something I want to test. Battery life, I have the XL, again, so far so good, but stuff like that, let me know what you guys want to know about this phone, and that will surely be tested for the full review video. Either way, that's been it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.
Welcome to one of the most anticipated videos ever here on Unbox Therapy. The Pixel unboxing video, the Google Pixel. Google's first Google phone with the name and the brand Google on it. Stepped it up a notch. I got 4 of them in front of me. Why 4? I don't know. You could probably guess. What can I do with all these extras? I've got the Pixel XL and the standard Pixel. So let's do the XL first. Now this device is widely available, unlike the Nexus devices of past, a number of different carriers as well as directly from Google. Ooh! This is the one I think I'm gonna switch over to from the iPhone 7 Plus, which I have been using, enjoying actually, from a form factor perspective, very close. Google claims that this device is the best camera in the business. I've been told that the reason for this glass portion is to actually help in some of the signal transmission, and that of course is also where your fingerprint sensor lives. Cameras in this location up top, flash is there as well, a 3.5mm headphone jack. It's gonna be USB Type-C, gonna give you quick charge. 15 minutes of charging can give you 7 hours of battery life. Jack, can you fact check this for me? 2 cables. Google, you've outdone yourself here. Type-C to Type-C, an adapter, as well as Type-C to old-fashioned. So options, here is your quick charge brick, 5 volt, 3 amp. We also have the other color here, the silver. Think of this as the standard and this is the plus. Now there is a third color as well. There's a blue color. This is unusual. Okay, phone by Google, made in Taiwan. That's interesting. So not made in China. Here we go. Lift and tap. And that's it. How can I help? Okay. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. That's it. It's trained. How simple is that? Okay. Ooh. We're in. Let's see how quick it happens. Instant. Swipe up for the app drawer. Now, that's a very natural movement. Super snappy as well. The camera is what this is all about, right? Ooh, that's fast. That's a nice camera photo. I don't think they're making this up in terms of it being the best. I can adjust color temp, which is nice. Real quick video here. Hello everyone. You're now watching Unbox Therapy. You will get a sense for the image stabilization. There's Jack, hard at work as usual. Selfie camera demonstration. Showing all my various beard hairs there. What can you do?
I can help you with lots of things. You can say things like, I'm bored, or recite a poem. Swipe to see more options.
I'm bored.
Boredom doesn't stand a chance against us. What do you do if you see a spaceman? You park your car, man.
Get burned, dude. Okay, Google. What is Unbox Therapy? Unbox Therapy. Who is Jack from Unbox Therapy?
Here's a result from YouTube.
The Jack. Tell me some sports news.
Series with Toronto, a 3-0 shutout in Game 5. Rookie pitcher Ryan Merritt works into the 5th inning in his playoff debut. Marco Estrada gives up a couple of runs.
Google's got to rub it in that the Jays lost. Getting rid of this foe. How do you say hello in Japanese?
こんにちは。
How do you say hello in German?
Hallo.
How do you say hello on the moon?
Here is your translation.
Hello on the moon. How much Coke does Coca-Cola sell?
According to the Coca-Cola Company, during the first year, sales of Coca-Cola averaged 9 drinks a day, adding up to total sales for that year of $50. Today, products of the Coca-Cola Company are consumed at the rate of more than 1.9 billion drinks per day.
What?
Unbox Therapie ist der größte Kanal auf YouTube.
You heard it here in Germany. #1. You can embed Google Assistant into a chat that you're having with friends. You know what I'm saying? To add layers to that conversation.
Me gustaría tener una cerveza.
Oh yeah. Space Odyssey 2001. Hopefully she's not as mean as Hal. That's one area I feel like we could juice it up a little bit. Mono speaker type of performance here. Maybe in the next version, a boost in the audio. That'd be my only feedback on that. What can I say? I mean, this is tough. I'm getting sentimental right now. Like I said, I've been on the Nexus grind since the early days, and I was that guy standing around in the parking lot being like, guys, check this out. This is, believe it or not, this is the way Android is intended to be used. And people looking at you sideways like you're crazy saying, where's your Galaxy at, bro? Where's your iPhone? And it's like, nah, there's more to it. It's a pure experience. It's the way that it was intended. It's the latest, freshest updates. It's the latest, freshest software. Now we've got this validation in the form of the Pixel product. Now it's like, never mind that kind of side fringe situation there. Here's a flagship model, premium materials, to go up against all the big boys. I gotta say, I feel kind of like a proud dad or something. Google hardware, all grown up.